Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm celebrating finally achieving 200 subscribers, which is all thanks to you guys. It's been a bit of a slog, but I want to say a huge thank you for all the support and engagement I've had over the time that I've been doing this channel. And yes, I hope I can continue to bring you content that you enjoy, that you can engage with and that you find useful. So since we have the 200 subscribers, I thought it's high time I did a video where I shared with you guys my modest collection. And for this video, I'll briefly show you each watch and just talk about one or two things that I find interesting or particularly enjoyable about the watch. So the first watch I'm going to show you is my Casio G-Shock. The model of this one is the GAW 100B. One of my favorite features of this watch is the radio time that it has, and that means it never tells me the wrong time. So this is a really great watch. I'm a bit sad actually because this watch, when I bought it, and it wasn't that long ago, it was really fresh. As you do with G-Shocks, this one's really gone into battle with me. So I have been thinking about what I can do to replace this watch or indeed get a Casio G-Shock that I can take more care of. But yeah, what a fantastic watch, the Casio G-Shock. The second watch I'm going to show you is my Boss Aeroliner. Now this is a watch I've had at least 7 or 8 years, but it's one of my favorite watches of all time, just for its fantastic usability and ability to fit any occasion. The black face with white numerals is really striking and it's almost like a lovely design feature of its own, even before adding the subdials that you get in the chronograph function, which I just think is fantastic. I mean, this watch wasn't the most expensive watch. I think it was around 300 to 350 pounds, but what this was a brilliant starter watch for me. Yes, it's got a quartz movement and a battery that runs out every 3 to 4 years, but it doesn't matter. The watch is outstanding and I love it. We're coming to the real darlings of my collection, and the next watch I'm going to show you is a very special watch, and it's a Swatch Q Watch. Now I've not had this watch very long actually, but when I bought it, I think I got it from Watch Nation for around, I don't know, I think it was around the £295 mark or something like that. Fast forward 18 months and with the hype of the No Time to Die film, this watch has gone up in value since I bought it, and I must say it's generated a lot of interest. I mean, I did a video in January 2021 where I told everyone, look, you've got to get this watch now before it goes up in value, and it's proven to be the case. I think when I did the video, that was before the film came out, so the hype probably wasn't there in quite the same way. But when I watched the film and I saw the film in all its glory, in the scene where they went to Q's house and he had it on his wrist, yeah, it was just a fantastic moment, because I'm not sure of the exact details of the watch Q was wearing, but this seems to be a really, really nice replica watch from Swatch, which is very true to the watch that Q wore in the film. I've had a few people on that video say to me since that I should never wear this watch, and it didn't really start out that way, but I think as time has gone on, I've begun to realize significance on this watch. So I'm not going to wear it and I'm going to keep it boxed and papered up. One of my favorite watches in my collection. Swiftly moving on, I'm going to talk about a watch I absolutely adore, and that's my Zodiac Super Seawolf. Before I go into what my favorite feature of the watch is, I'm going to tell you the truth and tell you there is no favorite feature. It's just purely about the way it looks, and I have to say the way it makes me feel where I wear it. This is a watch made by Zodiac that has got very good diving pedigree actually as a dive watch. It's got 200 meters or 660 feet water resistant. So it's a brilliant dive watch, really practical from that point of view. But I think the main thing about this watch is just simply the way it looks. I mean, every time I've worn it, the conversation that's generated by this watch is actually really nice and refreshing conversation. People are intrigued and, you know, it's fun, and they're like, wow, perhaps maybe it's a bit unique and a bit unusual. Everyone that has seen this watch or seen me wear it and asked about it have absolutely loved it. I don't think the pictures do it justice when you see it on the internet, etc., or on your phone screen. It has a really good way of mixing the funky with the more traditional kind of styling. So, you know, you've got the Jubilee bracelet, but just a wild colour scheme. It just makes sense. So really lovely watch, and I hope I have many more years of enjoying wearing it. We've come to the penultimate watch in my collection, and this watch is none other than the Harrods Tudor Special Edition. One of my favourite features of this watch is the fact that it doesn't have a date window. Now, I don't generally like watches without a date window because I do like to see the date when I look at the time, but it can be a pain having to reset not just the time, but the date too. You know, with automatic watches, because at times, especially if you've not worn them for a few days, not that I've ever worn this watch. I mean, I've gone through this in a previous video that I released recently. The video was entitled the 79030B Blue Wonder. But one of the things I did talk about was the problems I had with this watch, and one of them being, because it's kind of a special edition and because that's a significant thing, it's made me quite afraid to wear this watch. So sadly, the only time I've worn this watch is in my YouTube videos. A really nice watch, and certainly one, as you can still buy them, I'd recommend. We've come to the final watch in my collection, and of course it's the apple of my eye. It's my Rolex Submariner date, reference number 116610LN. Buying a watch was like a boyhood dream. The Bond film that I used to watch with my father, Live and Let Die, where this watch featured, and Bond used it to escape being captured by his enemies with the magnet traction and some of the other features that were in this watch that just made it so special. One of the best features of this watch is the grid lock system, where you can adjust the oyster bracelet behind the clasp to fit your requirements perfectly. And that's something that's really kind of been useful to me when wearing this watch, because I like quite a snug fit. There's so much more to love about it. The precise, delicate but robust nature of the mechanics of this watch and its movement, the list goes on. It's a classic for all time, and it's a watch that I'm very privileged to have, and one that hopefully I'll enjoy wearing for many, many years to come. Well, there's my collection for you, and hopefully you've enjoyed me taking you through each watch. As I said earlier, I've got a very modest collection, but it's one that I'm very proud of, and it's the best I can do. The thing about watch collecting, it's an expensive affliction. So my wallet only goes so far, and at this moment in time, it's just not the right time for me to be spending 20,000, 30,000 pounds on watches. I'm just not able to do it. But you can always dream, and someone told me 10 years ago that I'd even be able to get a Rolex, which at the time cost me £6,500. I would be gobsmacked. Here's to many more years of watch videos and sharing my passion for horology and watches with you. That's it from me, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you've liked what you've seen today. I'll see you next time. So we've come to the penultimate watch in my collection, and this watch is none other than the Harrods Tudor Special Edition. Sadly, I had the watch upside down.